Hello and welcome to Expats Everywhere. If you could tell us your name, where you're from, and a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Darla Duggan, originally from the US. I live in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and I work as a professional nanny.
Very nice. And are there any other countries outside of the US and the Netherlands that you've worked in?
Yeah, I've lived in Budapest in Hungary.
Okay,
For,
cool. Well, this interview is all about the Netherlands and Utrecht. So let's jump right in. What is it like living in Utrecht?
Utrecht is a really cute and beautiful kind of town. I wouldn't call it like a major city. It's what I call it's like small enough that you see people kind of that are familiar all the time, but big enough that you don't see people you don't want to see. No, but it's like 300,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, not near as big as Amsterdam, but it looks and feels like Amsterdam. You've got the cute little canals and the old buildings, and right now it's really beautiful this time of year with the trees changing colors in the fall, and here and there in the city as well, you've got little windmills, and yeah, it's just a very Dutch kind of city. It's really cute.
That sounds really charming to live in.
It's super charming. People that come here just fall in love with it. And many people that just even visit decide to come and stay here to live.
Nice. So you're the founder of a really successful Facebook group that just crossed 30,000 followers or members, I guess we would say. Expats Utrecht. Could you tell us a bit about how that started and what's it like running such a highly successful group with such a large membership?
Yeah, actually, it got started about 11 and a half years ago by accident. Basically, I went to an expat meetup at an Irish pub, and I was taking pictures. It was a long time ago, so back with my old-fashioned camera and not my smartphone, and taking pictures of the people that were there. And I wanted to find a way to share the pictures with everybody. So I uploaded them onto my laptop, and I thought at the time there was Picasso Web. I don't know if you remember that, but I thought I
No.
could make an album of the pictures and then send everybody the link. Then I was like, oh well, we're all on Facebook, so I could just put them somewhere on Facebook, and so I did. And then it was coming up with the prompts, make a name for your group, and I was just yeah, I'm not making a group, I'm just putting a picture to yeah send everybody, and it was like I don't know, Expats Utrecht. Before I knew it, other people started joining the group, and I didn't actually realize at the time that I had created a group. And I think around about when there were probably 1,000 members, then that's when I was kind of, oh, okay, this is something that I started. But it was just a public group and anybody could join. Yeah, over time, it just kept growing. And I think around 6,000 members, we closed it because we were getting spammers and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, and I think actually, it's just been growing exponentially. In the last year, we grew actually about a year and a half. We've grown from 20,000 to 30,000.
Wow. Well, let's talk
Really,
more about that group in a bit. Let's jump back into talking about living and working and whatnot, and your expat experience in particular in Utrecht. What is it like working in Utrecht? What is the job market like? What is the work culture like? Can you give us any insight based on your knowledge of other expats and yourself?
yeah. Well, the expats form 8% of the population.
Okay.
Uh, Many people are yeah come here as expats for their specific knowledge and for a specific job. They are coming from all over the world, actually. And as far as the work culture, I think most expats work full time. You do have some people that work 4 days a week, and it's actually popular in Dutch culture to just work 4 days a week, especially if you have children.
Mm.
A lot of times you'll have where the parents split the responsibilities with the kids 1 day of the week. So what I notice and what I can say is that there's a pretty good appreciation for our work-life balance
Nice.
here.
That's
And then,
awesome.
yeah,
Do you know really what the job market is like and what kinds of jobs are available there for English speaking expats in particular?
I'm not really in like, you know, an office job and in that culture.
Sure.
Um, but it's been tougher during Corona times
Hmm.
for English speakers to find jobs. But for instance, there's a lot of expats working for Rabobank, which is a major bank here. Danone is a big company here. There's Heinz, Nike employs a lot of expats. I must mention Booking in Amsterdam that employs a lot of expats.
Okay.
I think it's pretty easy for expats to find work here. At least from what I can see, people are still moving into Utrecht and
Well, and your Facebook group is still
expat
growing.
friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound very expat friendly. You mentioned something about the language, so I'm curious, do people need to speak Dutch to work in Utrecht?
Yeah, for some jobs, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, the most all the Dutch speak English,
Right.
and yeah, at a very good level as well. So I think it's becoming more and more like so English friendly.
Mm. More international, I assume, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk a little more about kind of the financial aspects of life in Utrecht. How much can someone expect to earn there?
I do think so. I'm from the U.S. and I do think that the salaries are lower here
Okay.
compared to what people earn in the U.S. The taxes are higher. So what you see is that people have a bit more like you know modest style of life. The earning expectation it depends on of course you know the work that you do, but the standard of living here is high, and you know you might pay a lot of taxes, but you get a lot back.
What would be kind of the minimum required amount that someone should make to make life work there?
Yeah, that's a good question. It depends on yeah your expectations and what you consider a decent standard of living. But I think you know you're probably okay on at like 30, a bit above 30,000 something euros per year.
Okay.
I mean, you can make it.
And that would
But
be kind of living a modest lifestyle
yeah, yeah, I think so. I
and
mean,
wouldn't really be able to save much on 30,000 a year.
I don't think you would be able to save a whole
Okay.
lot, but it depends on how you live.
Sure. How much do you recommend someone should bring to start up life there with all the startup costs considered?
Yeah, you would want to have a good little nest of money because a lot of times housing is hard to find, and you might in the beginning have to live in a hotel or a temporary housing or Airbnb
Mm,
or, and that's always expensive. People don't find housing so quickly as they had expected to.
right.
So a lot of your money might go out for that. The rents are relatively high here.
Hmm.
Uh, I think if you're a single person and you're looking for a studio, you can expect to pay at least 1,000 euros per month.
Yeah. Yeah, we covered some of
Yeah.
this stuff actually in another video that we did because Utrecht won the Great Expat Cities by the alphabet for the letter U. So we put together a video about moving, living, and working there that you guys can check out. And that was actually why we reached out for this interview because we really wanted an expat perspective on, what life is actually like there. So this is good. This is really informative. What should someone do in terms of packing to move there, and what's the weather like?
Bring lots of really good rain gear, and yeah, protection against the wind
Mm,
and that because you're going to be on your bike a lot. You're going to be outside, braving the elements, and I would be prepared for that. There's things that I miss from the U.S. That little things that you realize, oh my gosh, I can't find that here, like hydrocortisone cream.
okay.
Little like my favorite face wash is Noxema, and they don't sell that here. So we Americans, we always have our kind of lists. There's also an Americans in the Netherlands Facebook group, and we always know, okay, these are the things, guys, that you're gonna need when you come here, and because it's a popular question.
Can you rattle off a few for us? Like, what are some things that people can't find that they should bring?
a good Mexican food.
Okay.
No, but we all have the things that we miss. Yeah, a lot of like little food items. Baking soda sometimes is hard to come by. Cooking like baking items in general that you're used to. If you're used to working in cups, they bring you know, the measuring
Measuring
cups.
cups. That's a good one. I've never heard that. We've probably done 150 interviews and no one has said that. And that's a really good one. I like that.
I've gotten used to sort of getting around those things and finding the stuff that I need here.
All right, well, let's change gears and let's talk about safety. Is it safe there, and do you feel safe on a personal level?
Yeah, I have to say, overall, definitely. It's also for women just walking alone. You're not going to really often see that, the catcalling and this sort of rude. It's not really a culture like that.
Hmm.
Every now and then you might, but I would say in general, it's a very safe place and to go, by yourself around the city and just go walking even, late at night.
Hmm.
There was an incident recently where there was a man that assaulted a few women actually who were on their bikes. Just kind of grab them and yeah. So that was in our expat group. We mentioned that about letting people know, guys, just be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings, bike with others if you need to. If it was in a certain area of Utrecht, and so you do have those odd situations, but
Sure.
for the most part, it's safe.
Yeah, that sounds like something that could happen just about anywhere. I won't say anywhere, but just about anywhere. Well, let's move on to a more lighthearted topic and let's talk about how do you meet people, what can you do for fun, and this is also a chance for you to talk about Expats Utrecht, because I'm sure that that is an amazing resource for people to connect to other people that are living in Utrecht and figuring out stuff to do for fun. So, what do you
Yeah.
recommend?
Well, as an expat, we have a lot of expat meetups
Hmm.
in the city, and I've been going to them, yeah, since I first came here, and now I'm actually organizing them myself.
Great.
Of course, during COVID, it's been really tricky. Been mostly doing like online things. We have this Friday an online wine tasting, and we've had during some of the tougher, kind of quarantine times, we've had community cleanups where we are able to kind of maintain distance from each other, and but still, it's a nice way to meet each other. Yeah, back before, of course, COVID, we had every month like a monthly meetup, and I would organize things for singles. We've done like going ice skating together, and bike rides together, and practicing Dutch.
Cool.
All meetups. So I think on the social aspects, and I'm not the only one organizing meetups. There's other groups, and a lot of times that's done through Meetup.com. Mine is called the Utrecht Hub, and I advertise it as well on Expats Utrecht, the Facebook group.
Okay, we'll put all of these links in the description below. So if you guys want to check those out, we'll put the links down there and make sure that you have that resource.
Yeah, awesome. And then, of course, getting to know the Dutch and socializing, within the culture, that can be a little bit tricky. It's sort of notorious that the Dutch are a little bit closed, to making new friends because it's a tiny country and they kind of like have all their friends already and their friend circles. And I guess their perception of expats is that they're kind of like they're coming and they're going. So why, put so much effort? But I think
Yeah.
the Dutch who have been away and have been expats themselves are more open to making new friends, and they see the value. I think as well. It's like, okay, well, maybe they're just here for a while, but I'm going to go visit them when they go back to wherever.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a lot of Dutch people on the Facebook group and also on the
Cool.
meetup group, and they come to the meetups. I think the coolest thing is like when a Dutch couple comes, you know,
Nice.
that's just, yeah, you don't see this often, but every now and then I think it's just really cool that they're really out there together and they just want to meet expats.
So if someone joins Expats Utrecht, what can they expect?
Well, the group helps you a lot with questions. We probably get anywhere from like 50 posts per day, and we don't accept all of them. But if you have, yeah, questions about settling in, the group is so helpful. The people are answering all your questions all the time,
Good.
and even if they're asked like 50 times before,
Right.
still people that want to help you. And also the International Welcome Center in this Stadskantor, which is like the city hall, is a great source for people to go to that are looking for information about settling here.
Okay.
And, when they join, they can also expect to find a way to meet new people and expand their social network. And it's just a really great community.
Brilliant. Well, I've got three more questions to ask, so you mind if I fire away?
Yep, go for it.
All right. How's the healthcare, and would you feel comfortable getting a procedure done there?
For me personally, it's been really great. I can't complain. Some expats do say that their doctors don't take their complaints or their worries seriously.
Hmm.
Yeah, you kind of hear that a lot. With me personally, I haven't had that issue. And hospitals are pretty top notch. That's kind of across the board what expats would also say. The only thing you have to kind of watch out for is that if you really have a health concern, you really pursue it with a doctor that it's something that's really affecting you and you need help for that.
Okay.
But on the whole, I think the healthcare system is very good, and I feel, I'm from the U.S. where we have kind of the best of the best in many places, and I feel comfortable here.
Great. Okay. So my next question is, do you think that Utrecht is a good travel hub? Why or why not?
Yeah, I definitely think Utrecht is a little gem not to miss if you're traveling. Amsterdam kind of gets all the attention, and yeah, Utrecht is definitely super charming, not major overcrowded like Amsterdam. So if you're kind of looking for an experience that's just sort of off the beaten path and unique, then I think Utrecht is definitely you should come see it.
Cool. And then is it easy to get out of Utrecht to visit other places, either in the Netherlands or in Europe, the world? What do you think?
That's why I live here
Is it? Okay. Cool.
because I love traveling, and for me, yeah, because Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is just a hop, skip, jumping away, and of course Utrecht itself is very central in the Netherlands, so you see a lot of people wanting to kind of live here because if they have a job, say in Eindhoven or wherever, or have to travel around the country, then Utrecht is a nice central place or hub, basically, to go from. And you can find great deals, a lot of like vakantie discounter,
Hmm.
Sunweb, you've got TUI, so many travel package deals that are really advantageous here.
Cool. Well, wrapping up, what are the pros and cons of living in Utrecht, the Netherlands?
Well, let me start with the cons, I guess. I think the cons, at least for me, have been a little bit fitting in with the culture. And yeah, for instance, like it's so tight knit, and sometimes people like bump into you and they don't even say I'm sorry. And where I come from, if you do that, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You
Right.
okay? But, and that took some getting used to. I think, yeah, there are just some cultural differences that to this day, even though I know, yeah, it is what it is, that are a little bit hard for me. Of course, like dating has not been a total smooth ride as a single woman. I would say for me personally, that's the biggest con.
Mm.
Examples might, as far as the dating, because people are like, oh, what? But like the going Dutch thing, that's totally true. And I guess I come from a culture where you just like it's more the gentleman culture,
Yeah.
and and a guy,
Chivalry.
chivalry, yeah, chivalrous, and there's no question like the guy will grab dinner, you know. But here it's like frowned upon if you sort of, yeah, if you don't get half the bill or something. I don't know. I just see little instances where Dutchmen get kind of like, you know, rubbed the wrong way if they have to pay for things.
Okay.
The cons, the weather. A lot of times, it's really not a lot of sun for like weeks on end or something. It's just rainy, and when the sun comes out, the Dutch people and everybody are just like lizards, you know, and just like jumping to the terraces and just trying to soak in the little that they can get. Pro actually is the bikes here. You're just biking everywhere. I think if I moved back to the US, I would just miss that so much.
Mm,
Just being able to hop on my bike and go anywhere. Because everything's so close by and everything's pretty flat. There's not a lot of hills. Of course, yeah, in San Francisco, you still see people biking there, but I hope that won't be me. I think that for me, I just love the biking culture. And what else? The standard of living, and yeah, also the fact that people speak English here everywhere, and it's just very expat friendly. And when I first came here, that was really nice. I came from Hungary before then, before moving here,
right.
and it was harder to access
Sure.
getting the culture because of the language. And here you can just sort of like just fit right in, kind of right from the start. Now I speak Dutch, so yeah, I don't have to fall back on the English, but I still consider myself an expat, even after living here for 12 years, because yeah, it's still this feeling that you're just even though you speak the language and you have some Dutch friends and things, and you can get by with everything in the culture. You're just, yeah, I'm always going to be American
Yeah.
living in the Netherlands. So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Well, if people want to reach out to you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can join Expats Utrecht on Facebook. And I also have a group called Expat Business in Utrecht because I try to support business owners, especially, yeah, it's one thing if you come to another country to start a new life, but if you come to another country and start your own business, I think that deserves major kudos. We have Meetup on meetup.com, the Utrecht Hub meetup group where we organize all kinds of things.
Darla, thank you so much for meeting with Expats Everywhere to tell us about your expat experience and then also your amazing expat Facebook group, Expats Utrecht. Thank you so much. Have a good
Thanks.
day.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.